Good morning, y'all. How's everybody doing today? It is Monday, the start of a brand new week. No, this is not my house coat that I'm wearing, but it is a big old sweater that I pulled out of the way from the back of the closet because it's still kind of chilly here on the Gulf Coast. In fact, I thought about for the last few days having a morning devotional entitled Brain Freeze because in addition to just being cold in general, I feel like my brain's been frozen lately. But because I had brain freeze, I couldn't think of anything to write about it. Funny how that works. But today I wanted to talk to you about something that we discussed yesterday in our Sunday school class, and I think it's very appropriate as we head into this week. There are some uncertainty surrounding what may or may not happen this week, and I think a lot of us are praying for peace as we begin this week. I might have told you that our Sunday school class is studying the Psalms leading up into Lent. And last week we studied Psalm 126 and decided it was such a great psalm. And I'd done so much research on it and found out a lot of information. We decided we would continue studying it this week and wrap it up next Sunday. So we took like the first, I think, verses 1 through 3 maybe, and talked about those this past yesterday. So I'm not going to go into the whole background of the psalm. That's a study, and maybe one day I'll write something on it. If you want to join my Sunday school class, send me a private message. We'll work that out. But basically, this is a psalm that was probably written after the Jews came back from captivity and they were headed back to Jerusalem, a place that was not only their spiritual connection, but they had a true physical connection to, and being away from Jerusalem caused them not just spiritual pain, but in some cases, according to what the scholars write, actual physical pain. So they were had been released from captivity and they are headed back to Zion or Jerusalem. And so they're talking about how happy they are at that prospect. And they talk about feeling like those who dreamed. I mean, you've had that feeling before, right? Something happens, and you're like, oh my goodness, this is a dream come true. Can this really be happening? But then it goes on to say, our mouths were filled with laughter and our tongues with songs of joy. Well, when I read the scriptures, I try to put myself in that place, and I close my eyes and imagine what it was like. But I also try to think of how I might have experienced these scriptures in my own life. And I've thought about times whenever I read this, times whenever I was just so happy and so joyful and so tickled that I laughed until I cried or until my face hurt. Have you ever laughed so hard that your face actually hurt? Well, I have. And I thought how wonderful that they were so happy that their mouths were filled with laughter. But then as I went on to my research, I found this great quote by Spurgeon that says, their mouths were filled with laughter because their hearts were too. And that led me to think about a couple of other scriptures. Proverbs 4:23 says, guard your heart because everything you do flows from it. And Luke 6:45, out of the abundance of the heart, the mouth speaks. Or another version says, the mouth speaks what the heart is full of. I asked the class members yesterday to think about that. And one of our questions that we discussed was, what's in your heart today? What's in your heart today? And there were some pretty deep answers to that. Some that were voiced during the class, some that were voiced to me in emails after the class. But I think that it resonated with a lot of us. What's in your heart today? I'm just going to tell you what's in my heart today. I'm a little concerned. I have concern in my heart for what is going to happen in our country, and in doing so in our country, the trickle down to our communities and to our families. Again, this is not a political statement. Please don't make it into that. This is just a human statement of having concern after the unrest of the past few months and few days, concern to look ahead. But also in my heart is security. Security because I know who ultimately holds the key to all of this. And I know the one who ultimately has me and you in his hand. And so along with that concern, I have a peace and a security knowing that regardless of what happens, and I pray that it's wonderful and peaceful and all of that, but regardless of what happens, ultimately I know who's in control of my destiny. So that is very helpful. What else is in my heart? What's in my heart is that I pray that we as human beings will be able to work through our differences as we move along through the next week, month, years, decades, to make a better world for all of us to live in. So, that is something that is in my heart today. What else is in my heart? Gratitude is in my heart. I am so grateful that even with its problems, I feel like this is still the best country in the world, and I am grateful that I am able to live here. I'm grateful that I'm able to live on the Gulf Coast where, yes, it gets cold every now and then, but it's just every now and then. And usually the cold doesn't last so terribly long, and we get back to some warm weather, which is great for my thin blood. So there are lots of things in my heart today. The next question is, if you follow Spurgeon's line, that their mouths were filled with laughter because their hearts were filled with laughter. Okay, so what is my mouth saying to you today? What is in your heart and how are you expressing it? I think that it is important for us to express what's in our heart and for us to examine what's in our heart. Sometimes there are things in there that we need to clean up a little bit. Yeah, I know, me too. But that's not a bad thing. Housekeeping your heart's not a bad thing. We can sweep a little bit out here, sweep a little bit out there, dust a little here, vacuum a lot out there. And then things become better for us, yes, but also because our heart is cleaner, our words are cleaner, our actions are cleaner, and we are better for other people. So I don't want to get too preachy today. What is it someone said one time? You're going from preaching and getting into middling. So I'm not trying to do that today. But I do want you to ask yourself the question, what's in my heart? Am I happy with what's in my heart? Is there something I need to do to clean up what's in my heart? If I'm happy with what's in my heart, is there something I need to do to share that with other people so that their hearts become more peaceful and more joyful? All right, that's enough for today. It is Monday. It's a pretty day on the Gulf Coast. I think it's going to get up to the mid to high 50s, so that means we may be able to go out for a walk or a run later today, and that will be nice. Maybe that will thaw out my brain freeze. In the meantime, love you guys. Have a great day, and with all of my heart, I wish for you a peaceful week, and I'll see you in the morning.